Hey there, fellowship. Welcome to this week's episode. Before we get going, have you heard about Anchor by Spotify? Well, if you have an idea for a podcast and an audience that you think will listen, Anchor by Spotify is the right choice. You can record, you can edit, and you can distribute your podcast to all the major platforms all on your phone or your computer. Everything you need in one place. The Anchor app or Anchor.fm. So go to those places right now. Record your voice. We want to hear it. And welcome to this episode of the Pretty Neat Podcast.
Dom got an award at school today, Ryan. Aren't you proud of our son?
At work. I just got home. I was just there.
Depends on the award, so I'll reserve judgment until I hear what it is.
I got an
award
from
fucking respect from Ryan.
from the biggest parent group in the district, actually.
So what did you get? Say it again.
I just got an annual every year. So big school districts have what are called parent action committees, and there's all kinds of different ones. And the biggest that is affiliated with my district annually does an awards sort of ceremony kind of towards the end of the year, and I was one of the teachers recognized by them
For being excellent, I assume.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Oh, a horn.
Well,
Cool.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
I believe that you've earned it. You've never taught me anything professionally. You have taught me many things
Here we go.
outside of your profession.
Uh-huh.
So I can't comment on your efficiency at your job, but congrats.
When I am on my game, I'm pretty good. I have made kids cry. I won't say that I haven't.
Good teachers do.
But when I am on, I'm not bad, I have to say.
Yeah, no,
Is that one of the benchmarks? Like how many times have you made a child cry?
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. My number is more than 1, but less than 7. So
Okay. Yeah. Nice. A shout out to my high school English teacher, Mr. Carey, Robert
Yeah,
Carey,
sure,
if he's
yeah.
listening. I think his name is Ryan. I know it's Mr. Carey. And great teacher. Definitely made me cry at least once or twice, whether or not he knows that. But
What was the context around that? How did he make you cry?
it's just like calling you out on bullshit, you know. If you read a summary of a book in his English class, this was junior year of high school, probably, and if you skimmed past something, if you missed a blaring theme or something like that, he'd give you shit for it. He would announce before his tests that if you did not read the book, to just trace your hand and draw him a really cool looking turkey. Yeah.
Hand turkey. So
Yep.
Aaron, do you make children draw hand turkeys if they fail to complete the assignment? Because you would know, right? You're the one handing out the assignment.
are you asking Aaron or me?
Did I say Aaron?
You did.
I meant Dom.
Well,
I
same
apologize,
question
Dom.
could go to Aaron because his answer would be a whole lot more weird than mine.
Maybe.
Hand turkeys or like
I don't have them draw hand turkeys, but now that I think about it, I probably should.
And there was just no bullshit. And he respected people's drawings. He would give you a grade.
on the drawing. Who thinks that
Yeah.
tracing of your hand is an acceptable version of a turkey?
Well, I mean, you had to decorate it.
You had to give it the giblets?
Yeah, you had to do everything you could to make it as good of a turkey as possible. You couldn't. That was his point. Is you can't bullshit through a book, but you can bullshit a fucking turkey.
Okay, so here's like the $1 million question, right? If your bullshit hand turkey was excellent, would you scrape by with a C? Was that a potential? Was that on the table, or was like no matter what you fail?
No,
but
D
here
plus,
is
D plus, which
Yeah.
was still failing.
here's some consolation points for your extravagant hand turkey.
I gave you an alternate assignment.
And on that alternate assignment, you get an A. But unfortunately, I award you zero points. And may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
A simple wrong would have been just fine.
We're all dumber here for having listened
We're
to
all
your
dumber
answer.
for. In no way did your answer resemble a coherent thought. We are all dumber for having listened to it, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Now, if that was your
It's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast. It's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast.
Okay, so the actual line is
Please tell us.
Mr. Madison, what you've just said is one of the most insanely wow. Mr. Madison, what you've just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Welcome to the Pretty Neat Podcast, everyone. Where we talk about UFC and other pretty neat things like that.
we
At
also
no point
talk
could it
about
be considered a rational thought is
Yeah.
like the rudest thing you could say to someone.
a rational thought. So everything that you just said was irrational, meaning that you have an irrational mind. Not
Oh,
only do we
man.
talk about UFC and pretty neat things, but we're all about keeping people accountable here.
We
Yeah.
are. You're right.
Yeah, we definitely do. Speaking of accountability, I am accountable for welcoming everyone to the show. Welcome to the Pretty Neat Podcast. My name is Aaron. So happy to have you here with me. Just then was Ryan, who is
Ryan, because your
yes.
name is pronounced Aaron, so I am Ryan.
I like
very
it.
similar to rayon, but I'm not a fabric.
That's true. Yeah, you're not. Now I'm just waiting for Dom to come in because this is what
Last week-
Dom saves the day with every.
Last week was a 2-man banger episode for
Oh my
sure.
God. Oh my gosh.
And unfortunately, Paul Craig wasn't here to hear it. So
Yeah.
Paul Craig.
413th time he's said no to coming on the show.
the 413
Yeah.
413th consecutive. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, there was just some technical difficulties last week, everyone, so we missed an episode. So sorry.
You
But we're
can
here
imagine
now.
it, though. You can
Yeah.
imagine it.
You really can. You can. And if you can't, you can visualize the Pretty Neat Podcast yourself at theprettyneatpodcast.com.
Mhm.
Yeah, go there, hit the mailbag. We like to hear from you. You can follow us on the socials. What a week. I have been enthralled by Tough and reading about the Tough cast. And by Tough, I mean The Ultimate Fighter season 31 with Conor McGregor and Michael Chandler. I don't know if you wanted to talk about anything else right off the bat, but I wanted to talk about this.
So this
Well,
doesn't
shit, I
premiere
mean-
until May. Is that right?
Yeah, that's
a
right.
bummer.
May 30th on ESPN Plus. But here's the thing that's interesting about it. Not that it's half bantamweights and half lightweights, which is cool with the weight classes, but half of the fighters in each of them are UFC veterans. So on the bantamweight side, Hunter, Cody, Brad, and Timur have all had 4 fights in the UFC already. And
For
they're-
each or total?
For each.
Yeah,
Okay.
Hunter Azure's name stands out to me. I've seen that name before.
The
Yeah,
one I
well,
feel like I recognize is Austin Hubbard.
Austin Hubbard is also, Austin Hubbard on the lightweight side. Kurt Holobaugh, Jason Knight, who went to BKFC and had 2 victories there. And Roosevelt Roberts was just in the UFC and got cut. So I have a theory that Conor McGregor is going to lead UFC veterans making a comeback like him, and Michael Chandler is going to be coaching the Rising Stars.
Okay.
Well, that seems very plausible.
Yep.
Let's just say that Roosevelt Roberts, he's a good fighter.
He
so
is.
they're
He's
not going to
really
do
good.
the picks thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to do the picks.
Okay, and that would track with the whole like Connor's getting his guys added to the roster or to the show's roster anyway, sort of story we've heard, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, who are Connor's guys in this list?
Hey, he has guys.
I'm not
I
doubting that he has guys. I'm just saying, who are the guys?
I don't actually know,
I
but
think
that's been a
Katona?
story, right?
Brad
Let's do a Google
Katona.
search for who are Connor's guys.
Brad
He's from Canada, which is basically Western Ireland, right?
and Brad
One
Katona
and the same.
won tough, if I recall correctly. One of the
He-
guys was a tough winner.
And he's back on the show.
This
How the
was
fuck do you
Superman.
win tough and you're back on another iteration of tough?
That's what happened. I have to look at it. But yeah, Brad.
Oh, you know
Katona's
what?
coming.
You're right. This guy wore glasses.
Yep.
This
Yeah,
guy
he
is a
was.
nerd.
He's
And
a
I was
total nerd.
rooting for this guy.
Yeah, he's a super, super good, cool guy. I'm glad he's coming back. But I think he's the one who either won tough or like got to the finals.
I think he went pretty far. I remember that distinctly. That in the house, he was very reserved, wore glasses. Not that glasses is an indication that you're a nerd, as we're all wearing glasses.
Yeah, it went with his nickname though for Superman because he was really Clark Kentish outside of the ring.
Yeah, but Clark Kent is the disguise, right? In the Clark Kent Superman discussion. Like, is he Brandon Katona or is he Superman?
I guess you see on the night. And I mean, he went he was what was his rank? He was 2-2 in the UFC. So yeah. I love this cast though. I love that they brought back some other talent. I like those kind of comeback stories. Also, the ages of the fighters are dramatically higher. Like the youngest fighter this season is 27.
Wow.
And the oldest is 36, which is Kurt Hollabaugh and Rico Disculio.
Okay.
Yeah. Makes me a little more excited for the season.
I'm
That-
definitely excited for it.
Yeah.
You probably couldn't have picked two better coaches, right?
In terms of entertainment value,
Just
no.
like where they are in their careers, it's kind of the stars have aligned here for sure.
Yeah. I very much agree. What else happened over the weekend? I feel like there was something else. Wasn't there another sport thing?
No.
No. Okay. Boxing? No.
Jake Paul lost, but we talked about that.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah.
And if there was boxing, we wouldn't know because they're terrible at promoting themselves.
Yeah.
No major golf really. The Arnold Palmer, which is always fun, but and is in Orlando where Ryan was. How was Orlando?
Balmy, as you would expect.
Central Florida.
Mid 80s for the entirety of my stay, which was largely spent 85% indoors, jam-packed with work stuff. Did get to go out to a very cool tiki bar called Aku Aku, very similar to another name that you all may be familiar with, which is apparently like one of the very first tiki bars that was opened, but the original location was in Vegas. But it was cool. I had a drink called the Fu Manchu, which was a rum drink infused with a lot of ginger, so it was quite spicy, and I enjoyed it.
That sounds really
and then
good.
downstairs, because in Orlando they have basements.
Yep.
Was a Vegas themed bar, but Vegas in the 60s and 70s.
Says 1958, the Stardust Casino.
Yeah,
That's where the original Aku Aku was. This is cool.
yeah, it was a smaller place, but it was a good vibe, and they were selling some tiki mugs, which I didn't purchase, but they had a signature drink that was off menu, very similar to like what In-N-Out does, called the Tiger Fucker.
Okay. Let me stop you. We can say it's off menu, but if you go to their website, in about halfway down in big white letters on a light teal background, home of the Tiger Fucker in all caps. Did you order one?
Two of my counterparts ordered a Tiger Fucker. I did not, because it's not a drink. It's a shooter.
Oh, I wouldn't have. Well,
And I was like, no, I just got here. I'm operating on 4 hours of sleep. I've spent the entire day traveling. I'm not going to do shooters, much to the
Okay.
chagrin of everyone that I was with.
Okay. So, I mean, listen, we all know you should have done it, but it is what it is.
In
Mhm.
hindsight, to say that I did a tiger fucker, that lasts
Yeah.
forever, right? But literally, like I had spent the previous day up since 6 o'clock in the morning, didn't get home until 11, all day at Disneyland,
We
slept
remember.
for 4 hours. Yeah, remember, because I was documenting my entire experience at the
Mhm.
behest of one Dom. Hey, send us pictures.
Hey, no, I said send pics. In the lost episode, we gave you your full credit
You did. It was
Of?
dramatic
of
of
how
sending pics.
well played that was.
Yeah.
And
It
the
was
level of commitment to commit to what ultimately ended up being nearly a 14-hour like semi-practical joke was
Send pics. Okay.
yeah.
was and the fact that
For-
it took me until about 6 p.m. to understand what was going on says more about me than it does about you. I'll say that.
What's going on here? Well, you said send pics, so I'm documenting everything that's happening now.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we waited till the very last second to get your picks for 285.
Yeah. Ryan, you
Yeah.
gonna make pics? I'm like, oh shit, let me scribble some stuff on a screenshot, which in hindsight, I have to go back and look and see how I did. But
We went 3 for 5 or 4 for 5, depending on how you score the. Well,
Mhm.
no. Sorry. Well, because we had Jalen Turner
We
and
did.
we
he
had
lost a split,
and we had Shevchenko,
and she got
and
choked
Mhm.
out.
we had both Gone and John Jones. So
Yeah.
3 for 5 or 2 for 5, depending on how you figure
Mhm.
we did on the main event.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. It was a fun card, and I'm
It
looking
was a
forward.
fun card.
Yeah, I'm
Super
looking
fun.
forward to talking about it. Did you have a favorite like moment from UFC 285, Tom?
Yeah. Me?
Yeah.
Of course I did.
What was it?
You know what it was.
Was it seeing greatness from John Jones
And Bo Nickel.
and Bo Nickel?
And if
Okay.
you think, okay, how long are we going? It was cool to see Cody Garbrandt not get absolutely obliterated. I'll say that.
Hmm.
Yeah, that was nice too.
How long are we going to pretend he doesn't do the same thing to everybody at middleweight? I just want to know how long.
I don't know, bro.
Yeah.
What
Like-
what do you not know?
I don't know what we're saying in terms of absolute, the absolute nature of the statement that he does this to everyone at middleweight.
Okay.
Because let's face it, Jamie Pickett was set up to be a sacrificial lamb. No
Total
argument,
tomato
right?
game.
Yeah.
Here you go. You're gonna get beat. He got submitted in round 1,
Mm-hmm.
and the thing was, it went immediately to the ground. Beautiful takedown.
Yes.
There is an argument to be made that Bo Nickel was like just so dogged in chasing that head and arm triangle choke, but his positioning was so bad.
Because he knew it didn't need to be any better.
It was so bad. Cliff, the immortal Cliff, was over at my home because of John Jones, essentially.
Mhm.
Because of John
As
Jones
well he
coming
should have
out
been.
to fight. It's like, I might come over. I was like, you're more than welcome. Please bring more beer.
What so I have really cut back on alcohol so far this year, and I did not on Saturday.
Good.
Well, the please bring more beer is more in like, if Cliff is coming over, I have to look at what I have available and be like, that's not enough for two men of our size and stature. But anyway, it was a great fight. Bo Nickel, great on the mic. I think he should immediately get somebody top 15, top 10-ish.
Okay.
But I am concerned right? And this is a minimal concern, but it is a concern that his dependence upon using the takedown and then immediately going for submission may not translate so well for the upper echelon of the division for people that can defend that.
Okay.
Now, at the very tippy top, we know that Israel Adesanya can't really defend wrestling, right?
Okay.
We saw it against Jan.
We know what Bo does to Stylebender.
Yeah, he takes him down.
Yes.
He dominates him. He would most likely do the same to Alex
Yeah.
Fajeda.
Yeah.
Are we going to jump right into the ladder with Bo Nickel? Do we have to do that? Do we have to climb the ladder with
Is
Bo?
there anything on the undercards, plural, even worth talking about?
I want to. Let's see.
Let's get to it. So
All right, we'll get back to Bo Nickel. Sorry,
Yeah,
but I'm
we're
excited to talk about him.
I'm excited too, and that's why we're gonna climb the ladder. The first fight was a banger, went to decision, but it was a
Yep.
banger.
that one could have got it. That one could have been a stoppage, right? At some point, if
It could have,
been
yeah.
followed up. Farid
Uh-huh.
Basharat looked really good.
Yep, that was also awesome. Tabitha Ricci mauled Jessica Penne.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron Saman, geez, lost 2
That guy's
points.
got to learn to follow the rules.
Yeah, he does. Lost 2 points, man. You can't
He's a
do that.
really good fighter, but that shit will
Mm-hmm.
like
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Yeah, you just can't do it. And then what did you think about Ian Gary and Song Keenan?
I like the fact that he turned it on, that he was really engaging in the third round
Mm-hmm.
and was imploring the crowd. I mean, I think if you're Irish by nature, you're very charismatic. So
Yeah.
he's got that on his side.
Yeah.
But I still ask him some concerns about
Me too.
I do
his
too.
ability against upper echelon competition. Even though he's very tall for welterweight, I feel like his frame is very slight.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep.
I wonder what that's going to look like against a really dominant wrestler. Like
Yeah.
you could just say, "Hey, what does he look like against Kamaru?" Well, he looks like he's on the ground getting his feet.
That's
Yeah.
what are we talking? Come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Not at all. And he talks about being like the new best striker in the UFC,
No.
and
No.
he's a very good striker, and you can tell that he focuses on it, and that's his preferred art form. He has to work on blocking because he took that one shot in the first round, and I thought it was over.
Hmm.
And
Is he like the best striker who's been featured on this year's early prelims? Maybe.
Yeah,
But we've got to squint a lot to get to anything where he's the best at anything, much less striking. I mean, that's just silly.
Yeah. So that was the early prelims. Still fun way to kick it off. Then you had middleweights, Julian Marquez and Marc-Andre Barrial. What did you think of this one, Ryan? It was awesome.
Power bar, right? He proved it with his cardio again. That's why he has the nickname Power Bar. Julian Marquez looked pretty dynamic early, but just couldn't keep that pace. And he looks like at middleweight, you would say, like, you look at his frame and you're like, well, he's got a lot of musculature. So is that his natural frame, or is he just putting on a lot of muscle? And as a result, he loses some of that cardio. Whereas Marc-Andre Barrial, he just looks
That's him.
like a pretty natural middleweight. So it made a lot of sense in how it transpired. Again, Julian Marquez could have won that fight in the early stages of the of round one, but
that tank.
once it got beyond that, he gassed out.
Yep. Yeah, he thoroughly did. Man, Vivian Araujo, I always get it backwards, man. And Amanda Ribas. That was a great fight. This
It was an interesting fight. I feel like we talked a little bit about Amanda Ribas on the last episode.
Yeah.
Because she has some fighter in common of other fighters we were talking about, right?
I don't remember.
We were talking about someone.
I don't remember.
Didn't she fight Alexa Grasso?
Maybe.
I don't see that on her fight history. It must have been someone though. And then I was thinking maybe Tatiana Suarez, but that's not on here either. So
No.
I don't know.
She lost to Chukagian last, but she
Yeah.
beat John DeRoba, although John DeRoba hasn't seen the scorecards yet. She beat
Get her.
Rodriguez. She beat Van Zant. Oh, and she beat Amanda Marcos as well. She's yeah, I can't really pick out who we could have been thinking about, but
So she somehow went down in straw weight and went up in flyweight. Well, she wasn't ranked in flyweight. Now
yeah,
she
this
is.
fight was in flyweight. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh man, the Dricus Duplessis fight and Derek Brunson. Yeah,
I don't know how Derek Brunson wasn't able to finish that fight.
I don't either.
Man, he had him.
Mhm.
Yep.
And that's been a common theme with Dricus is he gets himself in trouble. He looks like he's gassed the fuck out, and he still figures out a way to win.
Yeah.
But I think he's got a ceiling on him, and he's not unless something dramatically changes in the way that he fights or his ability to fight at a better pace. He's not. He could probably make top 5. I mean, he's number 6 right now.
Yeah.
At middleweight?
Yep.
Yeah.
He just jumped to number 6. So we're gonna
Should
be
he be
talking...
who Bo fights?
I was literally about to say that might not be crazy.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Yeah. Oh, and then Trevin Jones lost a decision to Cody Garbrandt, but it was still a great fight. That was a fun war.
Cody
had
almost got knocked
40
out.
total strikes. Landed 33 of them, 26 significant. 14 to 15 to the body, 4 to the legs. He actually had more control time.
I'm totally mistaking this fight for another fight. This was
I was
going to
say this was not
booing.
really a good fight. It was kind of boring.
Yeah.
I don't really know where Cody goes from here.
I don't either.
I don't think he's anywhere near the top 15.
No.
He's not. If you look at the top 15, like the people from 10 to 15 eat them alive. Ricky Simone or Simon, depending on Dom's pronunciation, destroys him. Right? Umar.
Come on.
That's not happening.
Umar, Nurmagomedov gonna happen.
Umar, nope, not gonna happen.
That's
not gonna happen for Cody. Adrian Yanez, Aaron's favorite
fighter.
Yeah.
Oh my dude! If Adrian Yanez fought for an interim belt, Aaron would.
I don't know what I would do.
I almost said
fellas.
something really inappropriate and pulled back. Aaron would have a tough time. He needs some alone time for that.
Yeah, the world better hope my pants were on. Otherwise,
Right.
there's a big mess.
Yeah, a different type of storm, if you will.
Chris, good. Chris Gutierrez, good. Chris Gutierrez just beat our boy from Frank Yeager, right? Didn't Chris retire Frank Yeager?
He did.
And then Jack Shore, Welsh's best kept secret.
He
Wales.
is not the best kept secret of Wales.
No?
No.
What is the best kept secret of Wales?
Prince Harry's real bad.
I was gonna say who
is?
killed Princess Di.
James Hewitt.
Wow.
Okay. All right. All
Hey,
right.
Aaron, Google James Hewitt.
Why?
How long are we gonna
For
pretend?
fun.
How long are we gonna pretend? No. Give me some images. Come on.
A
That's too
cavalry
much work.
officer in the British
Come on.
Army.
Come on. Give me some images.
I don't know how to internet.
I need him.
He disclosed an affair with Princess Diana.
How long are we gonna pretend that's not Prince Harry's dad? Look at that fucking guy. What are you talking about? Of course it is. Of course it is. Also, the queen had her killed. Whatever.
I mean, it's fucking dark, but I mean, they look very similar.
They really do.
Hey,
Oh my gosh.
I know this guy who I look just like. And by the way, I don't look anything like my brother or my alleged dad. I know this guy who I look just like had an affair with my mom. But he's not my real dad. Okay.
Come
Come
there
on.
we go.
Come
Now
on.
we have welcome
That's
to the.
Wales's best kept secret.
I mean,
Sorry, Jack Shore.
I see the point. Sorry, Jack, but fuck. I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
God,
so
what
to
are we,
speak.
15 minutes into this thing? We've already gotten there.
Yeah, right. Well, that's the show.
Yeah.
What do you want to do?
That is TPNP in a nutshell.
Yep. Join the fellowship. Go to the website. Sign up. I don't think you can sign up anywhere, but you can email us stuff.
You know what? Sign up. We'll take
Yeah.
your information.
Yeah.
Sign
will-
up, see what happens.
Jack Shore is fighting in 2 weeks, actually. Amir Khani.
San Antonio.
Ooh, he's gonna mess up Americani.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
is.
But
Makwan.
the more serious point is Cody Garbrandt is not in these guys' league. So
Cody Garbrandt is still fighting. Like, relatively speaking, he's in the UFC, so he's a very good fighter. But in terms of top 15 talent at the bantamweight division, he's not there, and that's unfortunate because I think we all have an affinity for Cody Garbrandt,
we do.
Mm-hmm.
and I think it's really mature of us to understand that he's just not that guy anymore.
Yeah.
He's
It's
not
like
that guy.
It's like Frankie a couple fights ago.
He is most known for that performance against Dominic Cruz. I know the tough stuff and the TJ Dillashaw stuff, but that performance against Dominic Cruz, which was 2016, that was Nunez Rousey. So Dominic Cruz is still ranked 7th, and it's 2023. Just saying.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well, Dominic Cruz also,
He's not the 7th best bantamweight, but
no, but he's also a name
mhm.
and still relatively competitive. I think in comparison to Cody Garbrandt, if they were to fight again today, Dominic would wipe the floor with him.
You think so?
Cheeto and
not?
Cheeto's fighting Dominic in 2 weeks. You
What?
know,
No,
like,
that's not right.
who's very no Sanhagen? Sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cheeto's not fighting Dominic because that
Dominic.
I
already
was gonna
happened,
say-
and he
'Cause
broke
that
his
already
already
happened.
nose.
He kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
He kicked him in the goddamn face.
Sorry, I was
Hard.
being a Nostradamus right there. My fault.
You're never a Nostradamus. Don't ever say that about yourself. Have some respect.
For myself.
Yeah, have some respect, man.
You
I
should
have-
respect yourself.
I have all of it. Damn man, that takes us into the middleweight
Yeah.
first
Bo tickle
fight.
my pickle nickel.
I'm going to be honest. I'm torn on the pickle thing.
No,
It's
So, I
just a
mean-
little on the nose. I think Bo works well enough.
Just be Bo.
Just Bo,
Ram, Bo,
Yeah.
Nickel.
Rambo.
Oh, that's better.
Good.
With
I was
like-
gonna say Bo nose.
Rochambeau.
oh, that's not bad. Just some rock, paper, scissors.
Like, how do you want to get beat?
With rock,
Rochambeau.
paper.
Rock, paper, scissors.
Rambo is good, but Bo on its own just works, and he works as a fighter. And once they have better Bo Nickel like merch, I'm gonna buy a shirt because he's my new guy.
Yeah,
I like
you
it.
like you're fan of the power ginger.
I think he's the best 185er on the planet. There, I said it.
Ooh, shit! Fuck, we went all the way in. We didn't even-
Yeah. And do you know
We
why?
just shoved right into the dom dome.
Do you know who is a better? Yeah, this is not Dom Dome. We just went there with
Yeah.
Prince Harry's real bad. Well, that's just like a known fact. Okay,
Well, really, we're gonna cover everything you're gonna say in climbing the ladder, right?
yeah, kind of.
Then recap this fight. He submitted Jamie Pickett, and that was cool.
Damn you fools.
Yes.
But say what you were
yes.
gonna say. Why is Bo Nickel, before we even climb the ladder, why is Bo Nickel the greatest middleweight in the UFC?
No, he's not the greatest middleweight. He's the best right now.
Okay.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
it's good to clarify things.
yeah.
It's good-
Yeah,
it's
he's
good to
not
make
the
those
greatest 185er of all time yet.
Okay.
I mean, that's still Anderson Silva, right?
Probably,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Or
Probably.
Stylebender.
Yeah. I'd
No,
put the
Anderson had
defenses
more
with.
defenses. So I mean, it depends on how you quantify it, right? We can get into that fucking argument, but anyway,
Yeah.
like in terms of honestly, like no, let's have the fucking argument.
Okay.
Stylebender won in dramatic fashion against Kelvin Gastelum. That's probably his best performance in the UFC.
Stylebenders?
Yeah, it was dramatic. That was a dramatic fight. His win against Whitaker, which Whitaker said after the fact that he rushed in and made a mistake. Okay, that's going to happen. His win against Paulo Costa doesn't really live up after, in historical terms, because Paulo Costa seems to be a fucking head case. And then everything else seems to be is a head case. I'm sorry, I'm hedging. I'm hedging.
You don't want to bump into him one day. That's not a bet you want to lose.
Like, nah, yeah, man.
We have a lot of listeners. He hears this.
You're a head case, Paulo. I'm sorry. You want to have a bottle of wine with me? And then everything else has been a decision.
Well, he went to decision with Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah,
yes, but
after Bobby
that was a
Knuckles.
dramatic fight. Like there were real stakes there.
No,
Danger.
Bobby Knuckles was after the Gastelum fight.
I know that was.
No, I'm talking to Aaron.
Yeah, and I'm saying that Bobby Knuckles was his last finish.
He knocked out Paulo Costa.
No, Paulo
and then
Costa.
humped him.
Costa afterwards. Vittori was a decision. So was Cannonier. Whitaker.
And technically, he
time.
did not go to decision with Pereira. So
Silva just has more. He has more title defenses against better competition.
And
yeah, that's fair.
And I would say that he went up and down between 185 and 205 more. Izzy's only done it the one time when he lost,
and it wasn't particularly
I get
close.
that. Yeah, exactly. Where Anderson's gone up and been competitive.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so Bo Nickel
climbing the ladder.
Currently ranked.
He's not currently ranked. What we do on Climb the Ladder, we just look at the top 15 in that division and we put our prospect up against them all. Number 15, Kelvin Gastelum. Speaking of, submission, Bo Nickel submits him.
Bo Nickel. It's done. It's over.
I do think this would probably be a fun tank. I don't think he'd submit him right away.
So you're not wrong, because I
think
feel
there'd
like
be more grappling.
Kelvin plays up to his level of competition. He's like the Lakers in many respects.
How dare you?
As a Laker fan, I am just being honest.
Hey, at least their best player is not carrying around a gun out of nowhere multiple times on Instagram
Moran,
Live.
what the fuck are
I'm
you
looking
doing?
at you, John Moran. All you have to do is not do that. You'll make $500 million and be the best player that particular city has ever had. All you have to do
is not do that.
Don't bring a gun anywhere you go. Pay someone to carry it for you.
Yes.
And he's like, nah, I want the gun.
My ego says I must carry this gun.
Do you know what, Ryan?
Yeah.
I would trade the Lakers' whole roster for him right now. Even with a 50-game suspension that's likely coming.
Hey.
Or how long are we going to pretend they're not going to cover that up so that they don't have to give him a 50-game suspension?
All right, right. That's the bigger story, right? But anyway,
I texted I have a coworker who's an in quotes Warriors fan. And so on Sunday, I was like,
fan?
Yes, for sure. I was like, hey, what are you and all your Warriors fan friends going to get Anthony Davis for Father's Day? Because 3 times in a row, he's turned you guys into his little boy and bent you over and spanked you for being naughty. And I don't mean that in like an awesome sexual way.
No. Yeah, just punishment.
I mean it like Steph Curry has to give Anthony Davis his house now.
That was
also fuck Steve Kerr.
That was a fun.
Whoa.
Aside.
Yeah, no, I don't like Steve Kerr.
Oh, okay.
Shut up and coach.
I understand. Okay.
What about
I have 3 of the best players on earth, 3 of the top 5, and then Draymond, who's top 15, and like a perfect supporting cast based on circumstances that have nothing to do with me. And I won these titles because Kevin Durant happened to come here. I'm such a good fuck you. I could have coached that team. Here's how you do it. Hey, Those 4 guys get the ball every play. But coach, what? No. Those 4 guys get the ball every play. Are we clear?
Yeah.
There, I just coached that era of Warriors basketball.
Oh my God, you're simplifying the
Oh,
fuck out of that. There's only one ball.
More than 2.
There's only one ball.
So advanced.
You can see so many iterations.
Model. They figured out that 3 is more than 2. They're fucking geniuses. Get the fuck out of here.
That's part of it, but that's the entire league. But also their ball movement is fantastic at the peak of where their powers are. And even with Steph Curry being a defensive liability, they are defensively sound.
Steph Curry is more than a defensive liability. They lucked into the 2 best shooters who have ever walked the face of the earth. And that's why they were good. And then they got Kevin Durant. That's why they were good. The Minnesota Timberwolves selected 2 point guards before Steph Curry in that draft.
They only
2.
They only won 1 championship with Kevin Durant. They
won 2, sir.
2? Okay.
Yeah. And then they only lost because he blew out his Achilles and Klay Thompson blew out his ACL to the Kawhi Raptors. Yeah, if those 2 guys are healthy, they stomp that team.
Kawhi is for a San Diego State alum, let's just say Kawhi not as good as you think.
I have been on that train for as long as I can remember.
All right, let's get back to UFC.
Now, in 2019, was I furious when he didn't sign with the Lakers when we traded for Anthony Davis?
Yes,
guys, I was.
Of course.
Because if he's your 3rd best player,
man, that's a good 3rd best player. When he's not injured.
Hang on, I gotta.
Who also, would play with another number 1 player or number 2, Anthony Davis, who's injury prone. So I would probably be potentially really frustrated with that.
Hey, what did I do to you?
I'm just saying.
As I watch Anthony Davis hit a 3 over somebody from Memphis now.
Be accountable, Dom. Anthony Davis is injury prone. Say otherwise.
Yeah, so.
So is Anderson Silva.
All right. Let's talk about your favorite ginger.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Action Man Chris Curtis. Action Man.
Come on. Chris Curtis.
He's going to dominate him. Curtis has an outside chance of catching him with a left hook.
No, he doesn't.
Coming in. Hey, nope.
Outside.
Stop it.
Outside chance.
Be accountable. There's an outside chance.
What would the line be?
Alexa Grasso to win by submission in the 4th round was a plus 4,500.
Yeah.
And it happened.
Look at that bet. Oh my God. But she won that and she got the submission because of her tape study.
Yeah, she did.
All right. Andre,
but actually, man, that's so true. It's so true.
Why are you laughing? Tape study. She said
okay.
She said
tendencies.
It. Yeah.
Tendencies.
Yeah.
Tendencies with what is already a world-class level of ability that Alexa Grasso has.
She has an amazing game.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
She's super well-rounded. She's underrated in terms of what she can do. Nobody thought she would be able to submit her.
Yeah, we'll get back to that.
She also saved a lot of tape.
Yes, she did.
Now you know who beat Alexa Grasso one time.
Aaron
Your
Blanchard.
Girl. Tatiana Suarez beat her.
Yes, she did.
By submission in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
But bro, Tatiana's going back down to 115.
Oh shit!
I don't know what women's flyweight divisions and strawweight weights are. I don't know. I don't understand it.
Flyweight is the same for men and women.
I'm not saying it's not.
125.
Okay.
And 115 is straw. And we don't have an atom weight.
And we don't have atom weight in the UFC.
Is that 105?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. What about Andre Muniz? We just saw him.
So that's interesting because he was a very big touted prospect and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu wizard who then got submitted by Brendan Allen, who's number 12.
Yeah. Well, then let's combine those. I don't.
So that's Bo Nickel. Keep going. And both of you know it. Don't.
No,
and believe me, one of you is getting called to the rug, to the curtain, called to the
to the carpet.
Called to the carpet.
The carpet.
One of you is getting called to the carpet pretty soon. I think you know which one of you it is.
Maybe.
I just hope you're ready to apologize.
Let's keep going.
Nasruddin Imavov.
Yeah.
But he just lost.
Yep, just lost. Jack Hermanson just lost to Roman Dolidze.
I am intrigued by Roman Dolidze. And
So
Aaron,
I'll say
you
I
were
am too.
hinting on that.
I am
Yep.
too.
Yep.
You were hinting on that because you were hovering your cursor over Roman's name,
Thank
right?
you. Yep. Roman
Roman.
is interesting. That's an interesting contest for Bo.
So remember, Roman's last win, he had this amazing choke where he just laced his legs to get leverage and then choked a guy out in a position where the defender thought he was safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is very interesting. But
I tend to agree, actually,
I'm glad you do.
if I'm being accountable. I do think Bo wins, but I think that's a tougher matchup than a lot of the other guys in this division.
Okay, let's
Really
really
tough.
talk this out because this is the crux, as the climbers say. By the way, side point. Have you watched the HBO Max show, The Climb?
No.
Oh. If you're a fan of like rock climbing,
I swear to God, I thought you were gonna say, if you're like a freestyle rock climbing head, like, so just you then, or anyway, go on.
Anyway, it's fun, but the crux is what they define as the most difficult position in the progress of the climb. So if they hit the crux, obviously by definition, they get over that. The
Is
rest
it a competition show, or is it just about these savages?
It's a competition show
that see a straight up slate rock and think, I'm going up that without a rope. Like,
not without a rope, because this is not free climbing. They also,
I'm sorry, I'm not balls deep in the climbing game.
Another sidebar, they do free climb, but it's over water. It's called free water soloing.
Cool. Yeah, hitting the water from 500 feet up will still kill you.
So most of this takes place in Spain and Portugal, where the host lives. He's one of the most well-renowned professional climbers alive.
Not Alex Honnold. He's the only climber I know.
If you were to tell me or ask me what his name was, I couldn't tell you.
Okay.
I do know that Jason Momoa is the producer of the show, and he shows up in the finale because he's also an avid climber. And when Aquaman gets involved, I'm fucking down.
Hey. Fucking Jason Momoa or Bo Nickel.
Okay, so back to Bo Nickel.
Roman, for sure.
Roman Dolidze.
Yeah.
Roman Dolidze manages distance really well.
Roman Dolidze, I would say, way better striker.
Yeah.
Stylistically a tough fight for Bo.
That'd be really
Very
scary
tough.
for Bo.
Yeah.
He has shown himself to be capable on the ground. Now, we don't know, because there's levels to the game, whether or not Bo Nickel is just going to be like, hey, fuck Roman Dolidze. I'm going to tap him out inside of one round.
Yeah.
But then again, if Roman Dolidze can defend the takedown, I'm concerned for Bo Nickel on the feet because he's unproven.
Yeah. Yeah. That's an interesting one. That's where this starts. Well, and not really a fucked up thing, but I guess the kind of reasonable thing here is Roman Dolidze is very much a prospect. There are less intriguing matchups ahead of Roman Dolidze for me. Like, I don't think Derek Brunson or Sean Strickland or Drickus would really
the thing
have a
is,
problem.
though, with Sean Strickland, it really depends on which Sean Strickland shows up.
I suppose that's true. The Sean Strickland that beat the shit out of Jack Hermanson could give Bo problems because that was just expert jabbing, and Sean is always throwing.
And Sean's not afraid, and he's kind of a bully. So there's those aspects to it.
That would be a hero villain fight, which would be a fun one. I think the pressers leading up to that would be good. If Bo Nickel, who says he's a main event pay-per-view fighter, ever headlines a fight night before he's a top contender, Sean Strickland would be my pick for that. I think that Strickland versus Nickel would be a very interesting headline.
I think the way it's going, Adesanya is going to be a fight night headliner, so maybe they can do Bo Nickel with him.
Yeah, maybe. Shit. But I don't think
I said it.
What do you think about Brunson, Sean Tadrikis, because I don't think Paula even, not even
No, not
Marvin
Paulo. Paulo was one fight away from getting out of
getting
his
cut.
contract and going to
Yeah.
the PFL.
Yeah, he is.
Where he will be the 185 champ
Yeah.
indefinitely.
And just, collect $1 million paycheck every
Yep.
season.
As well he should.
I am intrigued about the Marvin Vittori fight. That's where it really gets interesting for me.
That
No, not for you,
aggression,
Dom. Not at
No.
all.
that
Not at all.
aggression is pretty intense, actually.
No.
Marvin Vittori has amazing cardio.
Yeah.
You cannot dispute that.
No.
Now he's definitely not as good of a wrestler, but he's pretty good everywhere.
Yeah.
And again, that comes into question is the unknown for Bo is what can he do outside of just shooting a double leg?
We don't know yet.
Yeah, it's hard to judge with those Dana White's Contender Series fighters because those guys were not.
Mhm.
It's a different level of competition.
Yeah.
And like his first MMA fight, his first pro fight was a knockout in the first round. It was like
All of his fights
Kinda
have ended in the
can,
first round,
so-
correct?
yeah. Yep.
Yeah. I
So-
guess, okay. Jared Cannonier, Bobby Knuckles, Stylebender. I think Stylebender is like his easiest fight.
I tend to agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
that's one where we kind of look at the upper echelon of the top 15 and you go, well, shit, he just fucks up Israel.
Yeah, he does. I think he fucks up Jared. He fucks up Israel. I think Robert Whitaker and Alex Bejeda are the two bigger challenges. And I think Robert Whitaker's a bigger challenge than Alex Bejeda.
I agree.
I think
agree on that.
he's
I think
way too
Robert
well-rounded.
Whitaker's- You took the words right out of my mouth.
You don't feel like
He's-
he's too small?
No.
He
That
is
might
small.
even play to
Bo
his
would have
advantage.
such a height and reach advantage.
So
no, I don't.
he
Not
is
on the ground.
smaller.
It doesn't.
Like Robert Whitaker is not getting to 170, but he's not like one of these gigantic 185.
But he's not going to 205. No,
No.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Alex Bejeda could go to 205 right now.
and beat
Yep.
the fuck out of Jamal Hill for what it's worth.
Probably.
Yes.
Why? Why do you
he-
say probably?
Yeah. Because
Oh,
I
you're
don't
getting
think,
called to the
Striker-
carpet.
because I don't think
This makes
Jamal
me
Hill's
so
going to be the
angry.
champion when Alex Bejeda moves up.
Yeah, Yuri could beat him for sure.
Exactly.
Yuri could beat him. Yes.
Yeah,
I was gonna say
don't
Yuri
see
could beat
Alex
him,
fighting Jamal.
but Jamal versus Alex is
That's a
is-
nightmare for Jamal.
Yeah, I think that's equal footing. If I'm being totally honest.
What?
Yes.
Maybe because of the size.
You think Jamal
Jamal's a
Hill is
big
the type of
dude.
striker Pajeda is?
Jamal Hill's striking accuracy is way underrated. So underrated. You need to take
God,
that
what he
into
did to
account.
Johnny Walker.
You need to take that into account.
Testify. He made him praise.
Well, it's lower than Pajeda's.
I still think Bobby Knuckles though is the biggest challenge for Bo in the whole division.
Granted, Jamal Hill has attempted way more strikes than Pajeda has, but it's still 5% lower.
Yeah. Oh man.
He
maybe
lands. He lands
say
more
that
per minute,
5%
that's for sure.
lower, but the volume is way higher.
Yeah, that's fair.
Means that the gap is much smaller than you think.
Yeah, absolutely. That's fair.
Damn. The Jamal Hill and Yuri face off at 285 when they were standing in the crowd was awesome. So I am
I didn't
amped for
see
that. Yeah, they faced off in the crowd. That's gonna be dope. Well, that was
Yeah,
a fun ladder.
Yuri is taking that belt back from him.
Yeah, he is. That was a good ladder to
He is
climb.
a legitimate psychopath,
Yeah.
I believe.
I don't think you're wrong.
Jamal Hill, don't get used to it.
Nope. Nope. And if you do, man, props to you. If he comes,
So
if he-
over under July 24 for Bo Nickel being 185 champ.
Over.
over.
Push.
Yeah.
I think it happens in July.
Mm.
I think we
Wow.
see him two more times
This year?
this year and maybe one more time this year, early next year, and then in July of
Okay, that's
24.
July of 24?
That's the correct
Yeah, that's
run.
what I said. July of 24.
Oh, I didn't hear the
That's
24.
the correct
My bad.
runaway.
Yeah,
if
Not
we're being-
not July of this year. No, not in 4 months.
No, next year.
16 months.
Yeah, I see that. I could
Yeah.
see that.
IFW 2024, where we will be, by the way.
Yes, we've
Yeah.
already committed to it.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a big booth and a venue live show.
Yeah.
It'll be
Yep.
slammed.
Yeah.
We're still having to turn down guests. Brian Campbell won't stop leaving me alone from Morning Combat. Um, what about Jalen Turner?
It was a
And
little disappointing for me.
okay, yeah, Mateusz Gamrot. I mean, did
He's a
what
good
he
fighter.
does.
He's a good fighter.
He's
He's
a
really
good
good.
fighter.
He couldn't keep Jalen Turner down. My biggest argument on the scoring of the fight, because it was a split decision,
Mm-hmm.
is Mateusz is getting the takedowns, but he's really not doing anything with them. And Jalen is working himself back up to the fence and then getting up. And there were moments where he was really impacting the fight with his striking. Jalen
Mhm.
speaking.
More
Yeah.
significant strikes and more strikes to the head. To
And,
your point,
yeah. So,
and he knocked him down.
Mhm.
observationally, my question would just be, are we still just not in alignment with how we're scoring these fights? It's like, yeah, Mateusz got
I'll answer. No, we're not.
Mateusz got a whole bunch of takedowns. He did. What was his control time? What did he do with those takedowns in terms of
Control time
damage?
6 minutes 52 seconds.
Still,
Well over a third of the fight, but even still.
even
Yeah.
still, like it wasn't enough to prevent Jalen from getting back to the feet and then affecting the fight with his overall striking. Now, that may be a biased take for me, being more of a proponent for somebody that wants to see these contests take place on the feet as opposed to on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
But if the rules state that the number one determining factor for scoring is damage, like you take somebody down and you don't score any damage, like that shouldn't
What'd you
have
do?
as much dramatic effect.
Yeah.
And I
So for
still
me,
feel like it is.
it's twofold. I think they will say it's the determining factor is damage when the UFC needs that particular fighter to win, a la Sean O'Malley.
Patty Pimblett.
This Patty Pimblett. We should note this was Jalen Turner's biggest step up in competition by far.
Yeah, he
By
went
far.
up a mile.
And I don't think his stock dropped as a result of this. And I don't think this is the type of loss that really puts him in the sort of like he's not really in the discussion category.
No, I don't think so either. It was still a fun fight. And like both of them I think are just at that same level, really, where they're kind of sitting.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of a wall for the prospects and contenders, right? They're kind of at that bridge. They're sharing that right now.
Yeah.
But neither one is really sticking out. Not like Shavkat Rakhmonov, who
So he moves up to 6. I think that's right for him.
yeah, and Shavkat and Ian Gary are the only two undefeated welterweights right now, which is pretty cool. I don't know if you knew that. Did
I
I
did not
didn't
know
know
that.
that, but I mean, can Ian Gary say that all of his wins have come via finish? I
Wait
don't
a
Fuck,
think
second.
no, he
he
Who
can.
has
can't.
Hamzat lost to?
Oh, Hamza is not ranked. Isn't fighting welterweight anymore, as far as I know. But maybe I'm missing. Maybe I'm just missing that. But anyway,
Well, there's a lot of speculation about that, Aaron, to your point, that Hamzat with the weight miss previously is just going to move up to welterweight and fight there.
middleweight. Yeah,
Middleweight.
Uh,
Yeah.
yeah, what did I say? Welterweight. I meant
yeah.
middleweight.
Shavkat
Um,
though. I mean, Shavkat and Jeff Neal. That was a
it was a
that was
fantastic fight.
that was a violent fight, a violent affair.
And props to Jeff Neal, right, for his level of preparation.
And
And
missing weight by 4 pounds.
Yeah.
well, I mean that sucks. But, yeah, but game plan preparation is what I mean specifically.
Okay.
Fortis MMA, really
Yeah.
good team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really
Pro-
good team.
Yep.
You could hear it throughout the fight. They're like coaching very poignant and in what they wanted him to do to affect the fight. And he
Mhm.
did. Like that's the thing is he did. Now the question is whether or not Shavkat's team was
Also, Shavkat is 17-0, so he's also undefeated.
yes, that's what we said previously.
I thought
Yeah.
you said, oh,
Yeah,
Shavkat and Ian
Shavkat.
Gary.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
The question would be whether or not Shavkat's team was prepared for that because there's commentary around Shavkat accepting more action from Jeff Neal as opposed to using his movement to affect the fight because he wanted to be able to counter because he knew that he would be able to.
You're not supposed to counter Jeff Neal. He's Hands of Steel Neal.
Hands of Steel Neal.
No.
That doesn't seem correct, but I mean, he took some shots from Jeff Neal.
Yeah.
His
I don't
ability
think
to take those shots was impressive.
I don't think anyone's plan is to go in there and get hit so you can counter. I think that's something they say after the fact.
Yeah. But
That's
hey,
fair enough.
I thought it was cool that even though Jeff Neal missed weight so bad that I still thought it was cool that Dana gave him the bonus anyway. He even talked about he knew he missed weight, but he didn't care. It was just too great of a fight. So I think that's cool. Well deserved, in my opinion.
Company man Dana White.
Yeah, right.
Mhm.
And then we had the only underdog who won on the entire card was Alexa Grasso when she submitted Valentina
Is
the
that
Bullet
true?
Shevchenko. Yeah,
Wow.
in the 4th round of their title fight, and she did
Literally,
it.
you're saying just on the main card or every other fight, the favorite one?
Believe the whole card.
Wow. I wonder how many times that's happened. Anyway, I'm sorry. Keep going.
Yeah, I'm still going, and it is holding true. Yep, entire card.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean the bottom didn't have it, but yeah. But like Ryan was saying, Alexa Grasso, they watched a ton of fucking tape and they saw Valentina throwing that spinning kick over and over again and knew that if she could slip by it right onto the back, that's exactly what she did. And she did it perfectly. And now we have 3 Mexican champions in the UFC. And that's awesome.
Yeah, and good for Alexa for finishing it because
yeah, right.
if you look at the advanced stats, or just sort of the stats breakdown, this was probably headed towards a controversial Shevchenko decision.
Again.
So yeah. I don't know. I don't feel as confident about her getting it back as I did about Amanda getting it back.
I'm in the same place. I really am. This is one of those fights where I think this might be the right look at it. Like Leon Edwards, the one way he was going to win was if he got that one head kick and he watched all the tape and saw the duck and he waited until he got it. And he lost the fight up until then. But Grasso kind of pieced her up a little bit too.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
yeah, sort of.
Yeah.
She landed more total strikes, but threw quite a bit more, less significant, way less to the head. So I don't know. It was a close fight.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah. Anything jumping from you, Ryan, on
it? Everything you guys said, I tend to agree with. I feel like this may be the tipping point of Valentina's end of prime, right? Yeah. So to speak.
Mm-hmm.
She has been dominant in this weight class since they created it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but she's been up until the last fight, she's been the only flyweight champion.
That's wild.
Right? In the history of the UFC. We were at the I may be wrong. History of the women's flyweight championship, but up until that point, we were now talking about her going back up to challenge Amanda for double belt status because of how dominant she was. But then we saw over the last few fights, there was more competition, right? It was starting to catch up.
Yeah.
Nico Montano. Jesus
we
Christ.
We forgot Nico Montano because she never fucking defended it.
She never defended. That was an Ultimate Fighter.
And it was only on the Ultimate Fighter.
Oh, yeah. So for an inaugural title. Okay, so
she beat Roxanne Modafferi, friend of the show, to win the belt.
Yeah. Okay, so technically she's not the only flyweight champion prior to Alexa Grasso, but
she kind of is.
She was the only flyweight champion in reality.
Yeah. Thoroughly the only one undisputed.
I'm concerned just about like if this was an athletic prime situation or mental preparation, either one.
Yeah, it's not great either way.
It's hard to either one. It's hard to get back.
She's a more humble Joanna, potentially. Like maybe this is just that wake up call.
Like,
this is
all right, whatever. I'm not going to do that. I am
don't know.
so tired of hearing about Joanna Jędrzejczyk. I'm so tired of it.
You want a champion? You're tired of your
I'm
champion?
so tired of it.
You can't even compare.
So, I mean, look at Shevchenko's fights. Okay, so she lost against Grasso. To your point, she was getting pieced up before she got submitted. It was back and forth, but hands wise, striking, pieced up. Natalia Santos' fight was way more competitive than anybody would have imagined. It was a split decision.
Mm-hmm.
Lauren Murphy, God bless her. She's just in the flyweight division because she's there and she's more gritty than everybody else. Jessica Andrade, KO. Jessica Andrade can fight at 125 and be competitive, but she's not a 125er. She's 5'1". She's a 115er.
And we're not sure she's competitive at 115 anymore either, but keep going.
Depends, right?
Yeah.
Depends. Jessica Maia, 5-minute decision. Okay, that's a ground game specialist as well, so played it out. Caitlin Chooks, right? Blonde fighter. KO.
Nope.
Round 3. Again, that's a Lauren Murphy situation. I'm sorry, but that's what it is. Liz Carmouche, now a champion in Bellator. But prior to that, long history of head trauma recovery. Most notably, begins getting submitted at 135 by Ronda Rousey. Right? That's a 5-minute decision. Props to her for taking it to the distance.
Speaking of head trauma,
Jessica
I.
Right? Baseball bat to the head. Most notable on a lot of promotional videos.
Oh, yeah.
And then Joanna went up. Remember? Joanna went up.
Oh, she's a savior. She's a saint.
Right?
We love her.
And she lost because Joanna should never fight at 125 because she's a twig. And also, that's after the breast augmentation.
She had a breast augmentation?
Yes, she did.
Nice.
But anyway, the point I'm trying to say is like, I really admire, I really respect Valentina. There is a potential if she gets an immediate rematch that she wins.
She beat Juliana Pena.
I wholeheartedly grant that she could come back and win.
And she beat Holly Holm.
The writing is on the wall that she is now not as dominant as she was. And whether that's the competition catching up to her or age or a combination of the both.
Yeah, she choreographs everything, and people are onto her, and she's slowing down.
Yeah. We talked about it. The tape study.
Yeah,
and she really had not had a tough fight before Taila Santos in a long time.
And Talia was on her back, like that was she learned get on her back, and that's how you win. That's how Grasso won. She just did it really fast. Hey, props to that. It was still a good fight. It was back and forth. I think there's gonna be some fun. There's gonna be some good drama up at flyweight now, and that'll be cool. But
so who is going to take the belt from her?
From Alexa Grasso?
Yeah.
Are we playing the ladder?
No.
I think Juliana Pena could.
Juliana Pena fights at 135.
Oh, that's not Pena. I'm sorry, Talia. Tatiana Suarez.
Tatiana is said she's moving back down to 115. Aaron Blanchfield.
It's Aaron Blanchfield.
It's Aaron Blanchfield.
Aaron Blanchfield.
Yeah. So
it is Aaron Blanchfield. And then she fights Talia Santos, and that's a pretty competitive fight. Manon.
It's also the co-main on a fight night, but go on.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Yeah.
Or it's the first on a 3 title fight night or something. It's definitely not. It's not a co-main.
It's the featured bout and not the co-main.
Yeah.
I hear you. I hear you. I see what you, I see.
Yeah,
what,
it is
I see
what it
you're
is,
saying.
man. It is what
right.
it is.
That's the reality of the situation. Aaron is a no nonsense fighter, and while she may fight dominantly, she's not necessarily the biggest personality. I thought Manon would be bigger at this point in time, and she's not. And I'm concerned that she's just not who we thought she was.
In kind of a time where there's not a lot of competition.
Yeah, like
she seems to be going the wrong way. I agree with you.
When she came onto the scene, it was like, wow, she's really aggressive with her kickboxing. Like, look at those front kicks and how she punishes the body. And then it just never evolved.
Yeah,
and
if anything, she got more reserved.
She did get more reserved. That's a good point, Aaron.
Yeah. I think she's being safer, and it sucks.
Who wins, Aaron Blanchfield or Aaron from TPNP?
Aaron Blanchfield. 100%.
I completely.
Aaron versus Aaron, there's not a competition. There's not a competition. Speaking of not a competition, we have to talk about the greatest mixed martial artist on earth. John Jones.
You ready for your time on the carpet, sir?
Sure.
There was a point on this show where you said you never wanted to see him fight again.
Yeah.
Am I going to sit here tonight and hold you accountable for that? When on this episode, I besmirched the name of the royal family, the country of Wales, and ultimately impacting like millions of people if what I'm saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
But you, sir, have some apologizing to do.
For what?
To John Jones. How
what?
dare you say you don't want to see him fight again? He is the very best there ever was.
Yeah.
By the Grand Canyon. And it's not even that close. It's here to Mars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think he actually fights Stipe?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably in July. And do you want to know how that goes?
Very similar.
About the same. Maybe Stipe lasts a couple minutes longer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, John Jones is great.
The greatest. He is the pound for pound greatest, which he is currently ranked. He is the greatest 205 and the greatest heavyweight fighter of all time.
Yeah, very much so true. Very much so true.
That's all I needed.
Unfortunately, it was boring.
You think that was boring?
Not that it was boring, but the level
I didn't get
of
to see him
competition
do
that
anything.
was put up by Cyril Gahn was disappointing.
It was Gahn's
I
fault.
wouldn't say that it was boring on John's part. He went after it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was just boring because Gahn didn't do anything.
Gahn didn't do shit. That's the problem. Stipe is going to do something. The problem is Stipe is fucking... Is Stipe 40?
Pretty close. John's 35, right? I think Stipe is 38.
Or Stipe is 40.
Stipe is 40.
This, so you know, was John Jones's 16th title fight win.
Wild.
19th UFC win. Yeah. I mean, he's amazing. Stipe is gonna fight him, and that'll be great. But man, he didn't get to see fucking anything. Like, it was just so quick and so easy that it was almost unfair.
I didn't necessarily think it was gonna go that way. I thought if John won, it was going to be like just a kind of a control sort of 5 minutes of plotting.
That's been his late record has been that. So
there is no one on the roster that has a prayer against him.
Nope.
I don't 100% disagree, but there are people that pose threats to him.
There's hungry people. Sergey Pavlovich, Tom
Sergey and Curtis Blades are the two biggest threats right now. Tom Aspinall is intriguing.
I think he's the most intriguing.
He's intriguing, but I would need to see him coming back from injury.
Mm-hmm.
So this is my theory on how this plays out for the rest of John's career.
So 7 more fights on his deal,
which he won't fight.
Probably not.
No, there's no way. I would bet real money that he doesn't fight 7 more times or 6 more times.
Nope.
Even 5 more times. He's
Mhm.
going to fight Stipe. He's going to beat Stipe, more than likely. And then one of two things is going to happen. Either Francis has a boxing match and then the UFC re-signs him and then he fights Francis, which will be amazing. The biggest fight of all time. Or John Jones retires, the greatest mixed martial artist of all time.
I
Probably.
think John makes quicker work of Francis than he did of Cyril Gane.
And I would watch it. And I would
Yeah.
pay for it. That's the bigger thing. And I would pay to watch that.
Yeah,
But
that would be a big one.
he's not going to fight anybody beyond Stipe that's ranked in the top 10
Probably not.
unless it's Francis.
And Jones said he only wants to fight the greatest of all time, which was kind of a punch at Francis, right? Because Francis wasn't there. That's why he wants to fight Stipe. He still views Stipe as the greatest heavyweight in UFC history, which is reasonable. He has the most
Yeah.
title defenses of any heavyweight in UFC history. So John does have to climb that to get that under his belt. Like
And then he could say that he's the best.
yeah. And I mean, like, and even still, yes, he has to beat Stipe. I almost would say he has to fight 5 more times to make it 6 title defenses in heavyweight because Stipe had 5. So Stipe won and won the heavyweight title 5 times, making him the winningest heavyweight
The
champ.
most accomplished, yeah.
John has to do that. If he really, I mean, he's still GOAT.
He's
still
not going
GOAT.
to do that.
But
He's
if
not going to
he-
do it.
If he can, then he should, because that'll put no questions at all.
That
Like,
pushes him. He's already the best UFC fighter that's ever lived.
that pushes
He's the
him
best
like
mixed martial artist of all time. It pushes him into the like greatest athlete of all time, probably discussion.
could.
Greatest combat sports athlete of all time.
it definitely
For sure.
could.
Combat sports is more appropriate.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
does DC come out of retirement? Does
No.
DC?
Fat ass
No.
DC come out of
Oh,
retirement to
please.
fight him?
No
Is
way.
DC
Trying-
making 265? I don't know.
Not immediately.
No, he's making DoorDash orders for Popeyes. That's what he's making.
No, Popeyes is delicious. The mac and cheese. Are you
Yeah,
kidding me?
It's so good. I guess we should talk about this upcoming card and make a few quick picks. There's not too much to talk about, but we'll play the song and talk about the fights.
And now it's time for the Pretty Neat Podcast picks.
UFC is going to be from the theater at Virgin Hotels, Las Vegas,
Which is formerly the Hard Rock.
Which is fucking bullshit because they're not fighting at the Apex because of goddamn Power Slap.
Oh
Is
yeah,
that
Power
why?
Slap is on
That is
the same
exactly
day.
why. Because Power
Wow.
Slap is going to be in the Apex and they are moving the
The
UFC
UFC.
to the
Hotel.
Virgin Hotel.
Never stop, Dana White.
Wow.
That's incredible.
They
That's
can probably fit
incredible.
more fans at the Virgin Hotel.
Probably.
No, that's the upside is that you have live crowd, live gate.
Yeah. Oh wait, what is this? Never mind. For some reason I had thought something. I saw a thing that like Chris Boutino was going to be on Tough this year, and he definitely isn't.
Oh,
He's not on the cast, which he
he
should
still
be.
my beating heart.
It would
Um,
only be appropriate if Chris Moutinho was on the cast of UFC if one of the coaches was Sean O'Malley.
That would be so funny. That'd be so good. Let's see. Kicking it off, Carlston Harris versus Abubakar Nurmagomedov. The only thing surprising about that one is that a Nurmagomedov is an underdog. Which
Are
is
you
pretty-
skipping the prelims?
This
So
is
we're
the
on the
prelims.
prelims.
Yeah.
What?
Tyson Nam.
Oh,
Yeah.
ESPN doesn't have that Nurmagomedov.
Oh shit. Weird. Maybe they
Weird.
don't have it yet.
weird.
Tyson Nam, Bruno Silva, Victor Henry, Tony Gravely. I mean, really, it doesn't get interesting till Ariane Lipsky and JJ Aldrich.
Yeah, and that's not interesting at all, and we know that, so I don't like when you say it.
Yeah. Well, it's only because Lipsky's on the list.
Yeah, right. Mario,
See?
but yeah. Mario
Still on the
Batista.
list.
Mario Batista. Come on. Yeah. Yes, she's on the list. Are you nuts? You're a maniac.
You kidding me?
Guido Canetti. Come on, that's gonna be okay.
Guido
Uh,
Canetti, if I'm not mistaken, is like 40 fucking years old.
yeah, didn't he lose to Patty? Did he
He
lose
lost
to
to somebody.
he lost to somebody on the rise. Remember when he beat Randy Costa? Uh-huh. He beat Chris Matinho. Hey, look at
Oh, good God. The Chris Matinho lives.
that. Martinez. Okay. Jeez. Oh, Cheeto beat him a long time ago. Okay, so never mind. Uh, but that'll be a fun fisticuffs because Mario de Batista brings it. Cedriquez Dumas, Josh Fremd. No idea.
Josh, your friend.
What?
You're welcome.
But yo, Rafael Assunção and Davy Grant.
Dude, Rafael Assunção was a former bantamweight champion.
Yeah.
And now he's going to get knocked out by Davy Grant.
Yes, he is. Davy Grant has knocked out what, 3 of his last 4 with like the same combo. He's a
He
trip.
has. Well, his last 3 wins have been knockouts, but he lost to Yanez and Cheeto.
Got it. Okay, yeah. He's a fun one to watch. He bangs hard. And I feel bad because I think Rafael Assunção is in it for a repeat of when he fought Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah.
I think he's just gonna get laid out. Carl Williams, Lucas Brzezinski, meh. Oh geez. Then we get into the main card. Vitor Petrino, Anton Turkalj, and
Sure.
Saeed Nurmagomedov and Jonathan Martinez at bantamweight. That's probably
Now, this is the Nurmagomedov who is not related to Khabib.
correct. It is his cousin or something like that.
Well,
The other one, the first one on the card, Abubakar, he's not related to
Sure.
Khabib. And I'm
Whatever.
pretty sure Saeed is his cousin. Or no,
Who
Saeed's
cares?
not either. Umar's his cousin. Ricardo Ramos, Austin Lingo. Cool. And then the rebooking of Nikita Krylov and Ryan Superman Span, which got canceled. The Moonies Allen fight. We've already had comments on that.
Mm-hmm.
Fun stuff. Then we get into the co-main and mains. Co-main, I love this fight. At heavyweight, number 8, Alexander Volkov, and number 13, Alexander Romanov. And it's Russia and Moldova. Someone's going to sleep. I have a feeling that it's going to be Volkov because he waits a little too long. He's more of a kickboxer, but Alexander Romanov is a monster. He's a monster.
I agree with all of that.
This should
Give me
be
the Moldovan.
Yep.
Give me the
100
Alexander with only one E in this fight
Yep.
by vicious takedown and ground and pound.
Yep. This is a shawarma. And then you get our bantamweight, a top contender spot to see who's going to be fighting against either Aljamain or Sugar Sean. It's Piotr Jan and Merab Dvalishvili, which still sounds like a delicious Greek food.
Give me the Marab.
I'll take Marab.
I'm going to take Marab.
I am too.
And
Love him
not
at
just-
plus
not-
210 as well.
Yeah, not just the dish,
Mhm.
but give me the Marab for the win.
Yeah. Plus 210 is not bad at all for Merab. Just going to.
He's susceptible in the first round for a KO. But to his credit, or to his advantage, I should say, Piotr Jan is more known for downloading people in the first round and then pressing the attack in the later rounds. So that all plays to Marab's strengths.
Yeah. And Merab trains with the Funk Master, Aljamain Sterling, too, who knows how to beat Piotr Jan.
Huh.
Get on him and hold him. And Merab
Get
is
on
really freaking good at that. So Merab. I got Merab this Saturday. Gentlemen, the week has come to an end for the Pretty Neat podcast. I guess I should take this opportunity to remind the fellowship, that being our listeners, listen, share, listen, tell friends, go to the prettyneatpodcast.com, hit the mailbag, and say, hey, I'm down. We'll chat. How do we close the show tonight? I'm always curious what might pop up as a show closer.
Hmm.
James Hewitt, 2024.
I think we could rephrase that. How about the what can we say, like the deepest mystery of Wales?
The best kept secret of Wales, James Hewitt, 2024.
Yeah, you know why I love MMA so much? It's pretty neat. That is 100% true, but it's also